All I know is that first, you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it. My life has value. So, I want you to get up now. I want all of you to get up out of your chairs. I want you to get up right now and go to the window, open it, and stick your head out and yell, I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore.
Hi guys, Gillian Leivers here, just checking in with you. You all know me, the man fighting the grave miscarriage of justice.
Don't flinch. We're pulling the curtain back on the injustice on the Greenfeeds case, where verdicts were handed down, but justice was not served. So buckle up. This isn't just a broadcast, it's a reckoning. This is a case of a grievous injustice, and we want to understand how things went so wrong. Listen in every Saturday between 12 and 2 p.m. and hear how the story unfolds. You'll be blown away by its content. Only on Dreamcatcher Radio.
You want answers?
I think I'm entitled.
You want answers?
I want the truth!
Okay, we are back for episode number 30. Can you believe it? 30. That's 30. That's 3 lots of 10s on the Greenfeeds Injustice case. So that means you're going to have over 60 hours of content, all of which varies from week to week. I'm joined today by Phil, my compadre.
Good evening, everybody.
And we've got Gillian Leivers here today as well, joining us for some commentary while we go through some more.
Good afternoon.
He's skulking.
Yeah.
Skulking in the background.
How is everybody doing? Easter weekend's out the way. I did. Do you know what? I felt like I did nothing. And I actually believe I did nothing. How was everybody's Easter weekend?
Well,
Yeah,
I went to visit Gillian on Saturday, as I always do. And today, actually, I've met another very frustrated farmer who has also suffered at the hands of our, should we say, broken judiciary system. His name is Charles Hirons. And if you check him out on YouTube, you'll see that he took his tractor and muck spreader to Derby Crown Court and let it all go. Between, I think, 5 to 10 tons of manure, muck, shite, should we say, all over the court steps to get his point heard, how he has suffered.
What was the outcome?
I'm not sure, actually, Brad. We had a discussion today, and he told me about this and told me about different podcasts he's on, and he really has suffered. So, if people want to check him out, he's now an ally, and he would like to also come on board. So we've got someone else there that's also been really harmed, should we say, by corruption.
Yeah, be interesting actually. We've actually got a farmers series coming up. I did one last year, and I talked to probably about a group of 7 farmers on a WhatsApp group, and then people don't understand what the issues are. They really do believe, they believe, people that is, that these are rich country folk, and what they're moaning about. Where actually they've got a real big grievance, genuine grievance. It's that they are working for next to nothing, and they're being asset stripped by the government. And I believe they've got genuine grievance. But it'll be interesting to talk to him, and he can probably join our group chat. And then next month is the start of another series, because there's so much going on within the farming community.
Yeah, I know you've got quite a few people, as you said, Brad, that would desperately like to come on and have their stories heard. But I have got 2 other people, one who suffered one of the biggest fraud cases in this country, and the other gentleman that I support wholeheartedly. He was framed very similar to our case, where one of his lorries went through the central reservation on the M62 and killed 2 people. And boy, the corruption involved there is is unbelievable. And he was given 14 years. It's tragic. And so, yeah, I'm looking to help him and get his case overturned in due course.
Well, we have got an event coming up as part of the Association of Prisoners Maintaining Innocence in June, where we've got 5 speakers, keynote speakers, which are work in universities and also in the legal sphere. Sorry, I should say sapphire. Where did that come from? And that's going to be a very busy event as well. That's coming up. So I'm looking forward to that and listening to these speakers, some of which I've had the pleasure of meeting before. So Phil, what about you? What have you been up to?
I just cleaned my patio. You get these
You could have
adverts.
made up a story or something, Phil. Come on.
No, something really interesting. Yeah. I buried the wife under it first, but I actually cleaned it afterwards.
Could it be the Alton Towers or something, or Orlando, Florida? I don't know.
Yeah.
All right. So, okay. Today we're going to go through the attendance notes taken by a solicitor from the prosecution. Her name is Lucy Wright, and unfortunately, we're going back to Richard Draycott, but I think it's important that we go through this. So, Ian, your role is going to be someone in the jury box thinking about what is being said, yeah?
Sure.
And Phil and I will be reading out this solicitor's notes, which is some 16 pages. Okay, some of it's irrelevant at the beginning. The jury was asked to leave court.
Yeah, I never understood that, Brad. Why the jury was asked to leave court for the prosecution barrister Lucy Wright to speak to Richard Draycott before she started to take his evidence in chief. Do you have any comments with that, Brad? I could never understand it.
It is quite unusual, to be honest. I've not really, I've heard of. She definitely wouldn't be allowed to do it by herself.
Okay.
But it does say here, Richard Draycott has been seen and spoken to at some length.
I wonder if she was chatting to him saying, we're not going to show you the CCTV footage, Richard, so don't worry about that. You won't have to again lie saying that it wasn't you coming to fetch Nigel Curtis. I wonder if it was that.
And it does say here, just have Richard Draycott in. It doesn't say have anybody else in, any other barrister, or
no.
Just says has him in.
Yeah, that's very strange, Phil, isn't it? Because I
wonder she's giving him the roadmap, saying, look, this is where I'm going to start. This is where we're going.
You can't coach a witness in English law. You're not allowed to do that.
Is that? Yeah, well, I understand that, Brad. I also have the recording when my daughter Laura and brother-in-law Martin went to Richard's house in, I think it was September 2022, whilst I was still in jail, with a letter from me to Richard thanking him for telling the truth in the trial. But it was only specifically telling the truth, saying that it wasn't him that was coming to fetch Nigel Curtis. Although in double Dutch, he said, no, that's not me. But I fetched Nigel. So I thanked him for that. And very importantly, and I asked them, as you all know, I'm very famous for recording my meetings, whether it be police interviews, me going into police to give them evidence, which I've done recently. When I went down to the Leicester police station on the 16th of January, I recorded it. And so I asked my daughter to record that meeting in Richard's house when they sat down, and he asked how Lance was doing because he knew Lance had a stroke after he couldn't save the men, and asked how Gillian was. I don't know. I'll have to go back to the recording to see if he asked how I was. But he said this, guys. He said, those barristers were pathetic. That's Richard Draycott himself. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Is your favourite word, isn't he, Brad? He's an oxymoron.
Yeah. I think in all fairness, in Richard Draycott's interview, he did express that and made it very clear that Gillian Leivers did not give instructions that day. But obviously, we didn't get to that point of those sort of discussions. I've just done a quick check online just to double check I'm right, and it actually says solicitors cannot coach a witness. That will include barristers, but what they can do, which makes sense, is discuss conduct of court, familiarise themselves with court procedures, layout, and process of giving evidence.
Oh, well, that stands out as corruption in itself, because we've just gone through the past two episodes of Richard Draycott being cross-examined by the defence. I'm sure he was familiar with the layout at that point. It was nothing fresh to him, was it? You know, it just come into court, saw CCTV footage of not him coming to fetch Nigel Curtis. It was Dave Maruniak, and got away with that. As we've covered, the defence barrister didn't want none of it. They just wanted him in out, and even the judge assisted him in getting him gone through quickly. So I'm sure he was familiar with the court layout at that point, but boy, is this corrupt. I've never known nothing like it.
Perhaps Lucy was just making sure that it actually was Richard Draycott.
Well, here's the kicker, Brad. The judge said, which he was reading out on when you was going through it, that he wanted to get through Richard Draycott that day. Well, he has the batting order. He knew that Nigel Curtis was also down there. So why was he wanting to rush Richard through, knowing he's got Nigel Curtis in the afternoon anyway? First witness, first day, when the trial was set out for 8 weeks, but actually wrapped up in 3 weeks. You know, what was the rush to get Richard? I think the judge was sweating himself again, as I keep repeating, when Draycott said it wasn't him, but he fetched Nigel. I mean, have you heard anything like it ever in your life? How that trial continued after Richard, I will never know.
Okay, I just want to add to this, just going back to what the guidance that I read. It's about witness remuneration and to help understand court procedures, layout, and the process of giving evidence. It says that where it says Richard Draycott had seen and spoken to at length, it lasted 6 minutes. So that's for that. Okay. So Phil, which part do you want to be, LW or Richard Draycott?
I'm really not bothered.
Are you going for the lady, Phil? Or should we give this Brad?
Yeah, I'll speak in my best lady voice.
Okay, so let's just start this off anyway. This is probably the judge. Can you give your full name? Richard Wayne Draycott. This is you now.
So when did you start your employment?
I can't remember when I actually started.
December 2016 as a point in time. How long working at Greenfeeds by that time? I think a number of years.
I had, yes.
What role employed in?
HGV driver.
Day to day, who gave instructions?
Yes, mainly Stuart Brown and Gillian Leivers.
Oh, Gillian Leivers. Yeah. Would Gillian Leivers, I was going to ask you that, Ian, would Gillian Leivers likely to have been giving this guy instructions, daily instructions?
Absolutely not. You know, we've got the driver's handbook, Phil, that not many haulage companies have a driver's handbook. And the point of contacts in the driver's handbook were Stuart Brown and Ian Leivers. You know, it's like when we had breakdowns and Richard used to work the articulated roll on, roll off. Let's just say he's at a green course site over at Wisbeach and he's had a breakdown. And we've got a small company. We've got the transport manager, Stuart Brown. What does they think they're going to do? Ring Stuart up and say, Stuart, I've got a breakdown with this bin lift. The hydraulics aren't working. And then Stuart says, hang on a minute, Richard, let me just ring Gillian at Salon. Gillian, Richard's had a breakdown. He's got an hydraulic pipe burst. What should he do? Well, tell him to do this to it, and it relays back. I only had four trucks running. It's been specifically put in there. Gillian Leivers has got to be said as many times as possible.
What about actual jobs? You've got to go from A to B and pick up this and drop it there and bring it back here. And who gives him that instruction?
Well, it's the person who sat in the driver's seat, as I've always said, the fact controller. We have a day diary, a year annual diary, and all the work as it comes in goes in there. And then the person who's writing goes in there as the person who's given the drivers their daily duties for the next day. And so
in actual fact, this statement here then is, as they would say, speculative.
In our case, Phil, I think everything was speculative.
Or in my vernacular, bollocks. Because she wouldn't have given me these instructions, would she?
Absolutely not.
It would have been written in a book, and he'd do his own thing. And if he was out and he got a breakdown, he'd ring Stuart Brown, not Gillian Leivers.
Yeah.
So there was absolutely no reason to mention Gillian Leivers there at all.
None. It could have mentioned Lance. But yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
It goes on. This is you actually, Phil.
What products did Greenfeeds produce?
No, we'll just go backwards. Okay, I'll just read it out quickly. This is
you.
you. What is it really your role as a HGV driver responsible for doing? This is me now. Delivering products to mainly pig farms.
What products did Greenfeeds produce?
Pig feed.
You were delivering pig feed to pig farms.
Yes. See, the thing is as well about this, right, which I find really fascinating in this case, the defense and prosecution asked them the same questions. And these are lay questions where we all know Greenfeeds sell pig feed.
The pig farms.
Yeah, which is can't be denied. So why even discuss that? The issue is, how did this happen? Anyway, carry on.
He never mentioned anaerobic digestion, did he? But they did that as well. But anyway, by the by. So, the vehicle you drove at Greenfeeds, was it always the same vehicle?
Majority of the time, yes.
And we confirmed what the vehicle registration was. What did the vehicle look like?
Articulated vehicle with tank on back.
So we give the jury a bundle and a photo of the vehicle that Richard Draycott drove. Is that it?
Yes.
Jury speaking here. So they're showing Richard Draycott a photograph of the said vehicle, the Scania. The same Scania that the next day we could have drove wherever we wanted, and the police never looked inside it, never downloaded the tachograph, never investigated it. But we've got the prosecution barrister now showing a photograph to our witness of the Scania, making a point of it. That's all I'd like to say. Jury member finished.
What jury number are you, by the way?
12.
Okay. All right.
No, let me revert. Sorry, I beg your pardon. Number 1. Because there's only number 1. There's only one person. Ian Leivers.
This is a good question. Do you understand what you should do to get them out of the tank?
Oh, that's an interesting one. I didn't see that coming. I don't understand.
You don't understand the question, I think is what that means. And then I say, is there any procedure in place? I don't know where this has come from. It's like straight out of left field, this, isn't it?
No, there was not.
One minute she's showing him a photograph of a lorry, and the next minute she's saying, how do you get people out of a tank?
No, there was not.
No more questions for you.
Okay. All right. We can interpret that in many different ways. Because what I understand what the prosecution is doing here, they're trying to say basically carte blanche. There is no instructions in place in relation to this tanker and people going in and out of tankers, and they've just cut it short. So they don't allow him to talk too much, in my opinion. and then they've just said, okay, no more questions. So she's done her job there in that regard.
No, she actually went on, Brad. This is a little bit wrong because she talked Richard through the process after it'd been to the office door. I remember this specifically. So she didn't stop at this point. She did go on for quite some time.
Where is it?
Okay.
We-
Okay, we got MB. Who's MB?
That's
Oh, for the company. Okay.
Mark Ballish.
Mark Bellish, I would think. Yeah.
He's for the company, yes.
I'll read this out then. Okay. Couldn't remember when joined the company. Suggest joined in 2007. Sounds about right.
I can only say yes, because I cannot remember when I joined the company.
Okay. Docs to prompt memory. By 2016, you were on a salary of 32,000 a year. That sounds right.
Possibly, yes.
Handout bundle, first document, number of documents. Company suggests that you have been seen or would have had during time at Greenfeeds. Also, a number of docs with signatures on them. Read training. There you go. That's an important point. Training. Had over the time as HGV driver at Greenfeeds. Driver handbook, Greenfeeds in October 2016. Suggests provided to you and all HGV drivers at Greenfeeds by the company through Stuart Brown. Meant to be kept within the tractor unit. I'm guessing they mean the driving unit. A vehicle. Do you agree?
Yes, I do.
Page 3 contents. This is a doc of which you during your time at Greenfeeds read.
I don't honestly know. I don't know.
Different way. Qualified HGV drivers, jury know how many years worked for Greenfeeds, how many years been at Greenfeeds. This is shorthand writing. Basically what he's asking for here is how many years have you been a qualified driver for?
And he's saying since he was 23, so 40 years.
Okay, HGV
So he's
driver.
63.
Okay, HGV driver needs to be properly qualified because you were driving on the roads, driving potentially dangerous places and equipment, etc.
Correct.
When provided docs by employer responsibilities as HGV driver over the period of time worked at Greenfeeds as a responsible HGV driver, although can't remember reading docs, you would have done so.
I would have read them, yes, when I would have been unloading or something like that.
What, you'd get the documents out at that point?
Yeah, just for something to do.
Yeah.
It's either that or Wordle.
We'll sidestep the sun and page 3. We'll go for that. We'll get the manual out. Okay. All right. Page 5, job description.
Yes.
Okay. Section want to take you to within this doc, page 12, top right. Washing specification. We see the table. We actually discussed this before in a previous episode. Says at the bottom, yes and no. Wash has to be done as possible before loading off next feed.
Yeah.
Okay. Phil, when we looked at that schedule, that spreadsheet, it basically said no.
To everything.
To everything.
Yeah.
Going into tankers, every single element. Okay.
Well, there's stainless steel tanks, so nothing's sticking to them really. They just need a wash down occasionally, and you can do that from the hatch with a jet wash. No need to get in at all.
Okay. A section I want to take you to within that document, page 12, top right. Wash. Okay, we just done that one, and you said yes. What we see here, the table itself, we can't see any yeses, can we? Okay, there you go. That verifies what I was just saying. Okay, cool. This is you.
So you can start now, Brad.
Okay, yeah.
UPRD. I'll go back to being Lucy Wright.
Okay, yeah. It says here, Richard Draycott, pull on to Weybridge, press button for gross weight, deduct my net weight from gross weight, and that's what I've actually usually 28 tons. That's really interesting, actually, Phil.
Because he doesn't know how to work it, does he?
Exactly. He doesn't know how to work a pin machine. That's a comment for you as well, Ian.
Yeah, I'm just gobsmacked by it all. It's unbelievable. But yeah, I'm the Joe remember writing down endlessly because I'm making no sense of none of this. It's, to me, just mind-boggling.
He did say he didn't know how to work this flipping machine. Because we made comment in the last show, didn't we? About
Yeah.
he
Now
must have
I'm
done it
making,
about 3,000 times in a
yeah,
year.
I'm making a note now that he can use it. So I'm totally confused.
Well, he goes on to say this in a minute. Okay, we're going
So,
back to
so
Lucy
what is
Wright.
the net weight?
No, that's me, isn't it? Or was that you?
No, that's
Okay.
me. What is the net weight?
Okay, I'm confused just as much as Ian. Okay, fine. What tanker and unit weight emptied?
The button, what produce?
Weybridge ticket.
What do you do with the ticket?
Staple it to the POD ticket and hand it back in. See, that's really interesting, right? He doesn't mention that he needs support from Stuart Brown,
No.
like he mentioned before.
POD ticket is a proof of delivery ticket. By the way. Who to?
Wait until Friday, last working day. That's been pretty much said throughout, actually. Hand your paperwork in with timesheets.
To what person do you hand the documents to?
Somebody in the office.
When you left for the client site, only time to put vehicle onto Weybridge.
When you left the client site, only.
Yeah, I'm just making a note here why he's saying somebody in the office where this is about my wife's role. She used to take all the paperwork off the staff, and if Perry used to work regular nights on a Friday, then his wife would take in his paperwork to Gillian's salon because they lived in Mansfield on a Saturday. So I don't know why he said somebody, but he's getting his workload off Gillian Leivers. Odd. Notes. I'm just forever scribbling notes down here.
Well, that's what juries should do, Ian.
Yeah, I know. My pencil's running out.
Sometimes, sometimes did that's what she said. The sometimes did collection whilst out. Probably get instruction to do. Stop laughing.
Sorry.
Yeah, probably get instruction to do collection whilst out, then way back in as well. Again, it shows that he's multitasking, so he knows what he's doing.
Oh, it was good. Richard was a good man. He could get on with his work. But again, he's just saying he's getting instructions to go for a backload, but not naming who.
Yeah. So the same procedure you described.
Yes.
Present the tickets in the same ways as described.
Yes.
And that was the procedure.
Yes.
Very efficient run business, this.
How did you get access, if needed, to the tanker itself?
Not sure. That is very clear. That's a fair point.
Was that the judge, that?
Yeah.
Okay. Rephrase that. Explained the hatch in the top of the tanker emptying and filling.
The hatch is to let the tanker breathe, like cool a vacuum.
Good point, Richard. Good point.
How was the hatch opened?
Climb up the ladder, and that particular tanker on the offside of the tanker.
Really?
On the near side.
On the near side.
Well, he says
Is he punch drunk? It sounds like he's been smoking cannabis before he came to court.
He's been inhaling the contents of that tanker, mate. That's what he's been doing. Okay. Ladder on the outside.
Yes.
Page 17, same bundle, divider 4, photo. The ladder you described shown?
It is.
Ladder in the center of the photo.
It is.
That's you.
Oh, sorry. I got down to the tank as. Oh, where did that just come from then? That question then. Okay, I got down the tank as quick as I could. Ran up to one of my colleagues, Nigel, at Green.
Yeah, this is very sorry, Brad. This is very confusing, isn't it? Have we been describing? Then it's sort of there's something been missed out here, hasn't there?
Yeah, there were.
Yeah.
This is where I remember, and you mentioned earlier Mark Ballish, then we've gone back to Lucy Wright, and this is where it's been a little bit confusing, but it's okay. This is the part where I remember Lucy Wright actually more or less starting because she's jumped forward. She's not talking about, she's gone through the procedures of what you do. Now she's talking about, as you say, Brad, the event.
Yeah, it's jumped.
But yes, yeah, jump forward. Yeah, but please carry on.
Thank you. The I got I got down to the tank as quick as I could and ran up to one of my colleagues, Nigel at Greenfeeds.
That's a big lie. It was Dave Maruniak,
Okay.
as captured on the CCTV footage. At this point, I'd like the listener to understand that Lucy Wright is refusing to use the CCTV footage to ask and walk through these questions with Richard Draycott. The prosecution had the TV turned off throughout the entire Greenfeeds Crown Court trial.
Okay, we have a very informed member of the jury here. Okay, coming down the yard on forklift Manitou. I know you've got a point to make.
Now, do you remember again? I know I ought to be the judge, really. Why is she talking about the Manitou coming down the drive where none of the defence mentioned the Manitou when you two guys went through all those defence barristers? Now Lucy Wright is mentioning the Manitou, but not showing it on the TV. The elephant in the room, which the CCRC will overturn this case using these facts.
Okay, I'm going to carry on. Forklift load pallets, he shouted, "What's up?" And I just screamed at him, Nathan is in the tank. Now, this is very important, which I've said many times before to the listeners. It makes it sound like this is something that's never happened before. And that's a common theme with throughout this. But casually in some of the statements, it's like, it's just going to tank and clean it out. But when you read the other statements, you can tell that this is not normal. This doesn't happen day to day. That's been what I've witnessed in the various documents since. And bear in mind we're on episode number 30. We've only got 2.5 minutes left. Okay, this is you, Phil.
Who shouted, "What's up"?
Gavin.
Gavin Rawson.
Yes.
Running towards Nigel Curtis.
Another driver, Nigel Curtis. Yes.
Gavin shouted, "What's up?" and you said,
Nathan's in the tank.
What happened then?
I ran up to Nigel. For the life of me, I can't remember what I said. I must have said, "Quick, we need help," because within that, Nigel turned around and running back towards the tank. Ian, because you're more versed on this, can I have a little bit of comment about that?
Yeah, sure. Well, I've shared this CCTV footage on my social media now for 3 years. This clip, if we're going to call it a clip, actually is Dave Maruniak going to fetch Nigel Curtis. And in the place where the Manitou supposedly is, with Gavin driving down the yard, are the two fitters carrying the ladder away from the tanker. One of those fitters, Martin White, was never interviewed by the police, never gave a police statement at all.
Is there no sight and sound of the Manitou then?
That we discovered this year, 2026, driving to the mixing shed as Richard Draycott is reversing in. Gavin Rawson was with Richard Draycott when he stopped that lorry together. And this is the evidence I took to the Leicestershire Police Station on the 16th of January 2026. This has also been submitted to the Criminal Case Review Commission, and our solicitor has now said that we can talk about it once it had been submitted to the Criminal Case Review Commission. They're going through this now and cross-referencing it against what the witnesses say, and this is what will overturn this case as unsafe.
Before we go to the break, no, we have to go to the break. Does somebody want to introduce a song, please?
Yes, could I introduce this one? Because after this first day, well, should I say now going on for 10 years, it scarred me terrible, and it scarred Gillian. These wounds, these scars will never go away. We can forgive, but we can't forget, because we'll always have the scars. And it's a new U2 song called Scars.
Okay, we're going to play that now.
Some scars and some others suffer, but you keep on reaching for the lights. The doors of your heart were kicked open, but you're leaving history far behind. Can't break what's already been broken, and now it's time. I know. So I know who you are. counters of control, the silver spikes of friendship, traded for a soul, the touch and the taste of me, a vinegar sweet. You won't know who I am the next time we meet, the next time we meet.
Dreamcatcher Radio.
Dreamcatcher Radio is about capturing and creating dreams through music, chat, and debate. Empowering expression, enriching society. A go-to place for unsigned musical talent. A radio station which listens to its audience. Free speech, vibrant, engaging. Stream worldwide 24/7. Events, competitions, promotions. Always keen to have a listening ear. Contact us. hello@dreamcatcherradio.com.
Dreamcatcher Radio.
Okay, we are back now. I've got a question. Unfortunately, I'm going to ask the jury because we have an invested party in the jury here. That's just for humour, by the way, because we need to place Ian somewhere because we like to hear his input. The Manitou. What more can you say about the Manitou, Ian?
Well, I can say factually that it had been missed. It had been missed by me until this year, 2026, when I made the discovery, which I call the elephant in the room, and it's the Manitou, which was driving down to the scene as Richard Draycott reverses into the mixing shed. And at this very point, Nigel Curtis is climbing the exterior of his ladder, of his tanker, and he looks directly in at the driver. So he will know that Gavin Rawson was on the scene together with Richard Draycott. So whatever happened that night, Gavin Rawson was with Richard, unless it was someone else driving that Manitou to the scene and Gavin had got in the tanker in an hour and 14 minutes where it was missing around the back of the yard where the loading points are for loading liquid on, which Stuart Brown had made a suggestion to go and put some liquid on the tanker.
And that would also back my theory up of the fact that on the night when Lance was given a brief account to the police, he claimed that there was more than 6 ton on that tank. And Gillian said, no, there was only 6 ton. It weighed in at 6 ton. And he said that he felt there was more than 6 ton on that tank. The only way that could be is if there was more put on the vehicle. And he had an hour and 14 minutes in which to do it round the back.
So what you're saying then, Phil, Richard actually followed Stuart's instructions and went to put some liquid on.
Yeah, well, to an extent, yeah. I mean, I'd be guessing at why he actually only stuck another ton on, or another 2.5 to 2 ton.
Not speculative, are you, Phil, in this case?
yeah, it's not like me, is it?
You're speculating the speculator.
Yeah. I wonder if they just stuck that extra tonnage on to raise the level for some unknown reason.
So if there was a package that dropped in from the lid, they could have reached it. That was the idea.
Possibly, yeah. And I think that went against them as well, because I think instead of being able to reach it, I think it drifted into the arse end of the tanker.
It makes sense, Phil, because if it had gone into the 90-degree bend, the 6-inch pipe that went to the pump, if you put the pump in reverse and connected that to the tank which had some pop in, it would have pushed the liquid and the package back into the tanker and theoretically would have floated it to the top. But as you say, it potentially got stuck still in the rear compartment and somebody had to go in to try to get it.
Yeah, because
Being
there was
speculative, of course.
we know there was very little line of sight from the hatch into the rear end of the tanker, but there might have been enough to see with a torchlight that something was floating in there. I don't know. It's just speculation, but it just sort of tends to fit together a bit better like a jigsaw puzzle than Richard Draycott saying he went to fetch Nigel Curtis.
Yeah, when it's not him. I mean, why lie? You know, the guy, if it was an accident, why lie to this degree, which is what both Gillian and I's never understood. 3 days on the stand, not being rushed on by the judge. That's what she said, which she'll come to later. You know, something happened that night that they are not telling us. And this is when the prosecution barrister, the other prosecution barrister, John Harrison, said, "So, are you saying there's a conspiracy?" What did he say? Oh, I forget the words, actually. Anyway, yeah, it will come to me. I've got a brain block.
Okay. The one thing that I'm thinking about, the Stuart Brown told Richard Draycott to instruct Nathan to go into the tanker, yeah?
Well, he said he didn't, Phil, did he? He said he might have a job for you. This is what he said. I may have a job for you, like what we've done before. But this was referring to a month before, the 14th of November, when Gillian and I were over in Spain with my father for his birthday. And it was the Green Goddess tanker. But Nathan wasn't in the tanker. It was on the front part because you can't climb through the baffles of the Green Goddess because they're arch shapes at the bottom. And if you've got liquid on, you need breathing up. You know, you need a snorkel because you'd have to keep going tunneling. It's like those poor children in the Philippines. That's what, you know, you can't do it. And so he hadn't and wasn't in that tanker. It was washing it from the lid, as you do.
Yeah.
No.
There are too many variables, aren't they? Because there are tankers, and tankers, we know that. There are tankers where the whole back end opens out.
But the point that I'm making is Stuart Brown on that night told Richard Draycott to tell Nathan to go into the tanker.
No, he didn't. No, he didn't, Phil. Sorry, Brad. He said that he told him he might have a job like we'd done before. Might. You might. I'm sure it was not written anywhere in a statement, Phil.
I thought Stuart Brown named Nathan by his nickname, 20p.
This was Richard saying that's what Stuart said.
Yeah.
But we'll get to that with Stuart Brown's.
Yeah, no, because I'm getting confused now. Then the in the interview that Phil and I had with Richard Draycott and what's the other gentleman's name?
Stuart.
Steve Hunt.
Steve Hunt.
Yeah. They both said, sorry, Steve Hunt wasn't there, but Draycott said that Stuart Brown told him to instruct Nathan to go into the tanker.
I don't think that's in any of Stuart's statements, and I don't think he said this on the stand. He said, I might have a job for you, a little job like we did before.
Right. Phil, I'm right in saying that's what Richard Draycott said, right? In that interview.
Yeah, okay. I'm not disputing that's what Richard said.
Okay, that's fine, yeah. Because the point being, and I use the word event because I can't think of another word to explain it, is that Richard Draycott is then going on to say in here that he ran up in pretty much despair to seek help, knowing that he instructed someone to go into the tanker. That's the point that I'm making. You understand?
Yeah, I do fully. Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So that makes no sense.
No.
To me.
No sense whatsoever. None whatsoever. Because he's making it sound like, as you say, this has never happened before, which is, you know, if Gavin was driving down on the Manitou, which he wasn't, and this happened as Richard describes it, then it's something, because Gavin wouldn't even get off the Manito, would he, if it was something that was normal? He'd say, and, you know, in his
Exactly,
words,
yeah,
Richard's
exactly.
words, which is reading out now with the prosecution barrister, Lucy Wright, is describing it like it's never happened before.
Yeah, yeah. So we can basically say that this is not normal. This doesn't happen, and we know that Richard Draycott followed Stuart Brown's instructions based on what Richard Draycott said. Instructed Nathan to go into the tanker. Nathan then duly entered the tanker in some way, shape, or form, and then suddenly alarm bells were rung. Well, surprise, surprise, Nathan's in the tanker.
Well, that's why everybody in the office ran down the yard. They didn't amble, did they? It wasn't a Sunday walk.
Yeah, well,
They ran like for their lives, depending on it.
Lance was at lead front. He was sprinting.
Yeah.
Away.
On just hearing Richard's words, which he doesn't deny, it could have been because they all said in the office in all the statements that when he got to the office door, he said Gavin's in the tank.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. Which
So
set
what-
Lance into full fight.
So
why did he say Gavin?
There you go.
His excuse was because Gavin wasn't anywhere to be seen.
Crazy, isn't it? Because
Yeah,
it's all lies.
so basically, half of Leicester could be in there because they couldn't be seen either.
Very important point, because we could basically feel, if I'm right, I'm just, please put your police officer hat on. We could assert that actually, beyond a reasonable doubt, that this is not normal for this to happen. But
absolutely not. No,
there was instructions given by Stuart Brown and to Richard Draycott, which Richard Draycott followed through. And then it appears to me that this is my conspiracy hat, and I don't like having a conspiracy hat. And then suddenly there's a moment saying, now's the time that we need to put the alarm bells forward, which was that 11-minute marker that we've talked about before. That seems to make some sense, doesn't it? Okay. Yeah. That's that little bit of information there, I think, is very, very important. Let me just go back to this. Okay, Richard Draycott. Me and Nigel ran back to the lorry and my side box. I had a strap. Nigel gone round and up the ladder. Desperation, I thrown Nigel the strap. Get yourself, whatever. When Nigel went up there, he went. Gavin was in there as well. See, that was obviously a contradiction as well from previous statements anyway. But go on, carry on.
I'm just trying to get my brain around that. So Nigel Curtis has climbed up the ladder, and when he looks inside the tanker, he can see Gavin face down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Jack Maruniak has just jumped off the ladder because remember, whilst Richard's gone to fetch Nigel, which it isn't Richard, it's Dave Maruniak, Jack Maruniak in those split seconds has climbed down from the vibrating sieve, run over to the tanker. I mean, you're going to come to he's the one of the others, he's the fifth witness, but he says that Gavin was stood up screaming his name. So they've missed him. Where's he gone? Nigel Curtis must have missed him on the ladder, but as we know, it's all lies.
Yeah.
And if I was at the top of a ladder looking into a hatch at some guy that's face down in a load of pig feed, and somebody throws me he might as well have thrown him a daffodil, mightn't he?
Nigel Curtis never mentioned this strap, Phil, at all. You'll come to him next. Never mentioned the strap.
What's he gonna do with it? I mean, he ain't gonna go in the tanker himself, is he? If the guy's face down in pig feed, he ain't gonna even see the strap, is he? So what's he gonna do with it? Like I said, he might as well have thrown him a daffodil.
Yeah, that strap was used for something else.
The just for the sake of listeners, this is the biggest problem we have with this case is contradictions, because there's various stories about the positions of the victims in this case. One standing, one not standing. Nobody knows there was two people in there, and suddenly there's two people in there, and we got Stretch Armstrong as well. That suddenly found someone in there, and all this sort of thing. This is the biggest problem. But there are throughout this series, which I'm pleased to say, we found so many massive contradictions.
Over 50.
And yeah, I think it's probably more 60 now, Phil.
Yeah, easy.
And such as the fact of the construct of the instructions from the yard and all that sort of stuff. And this is why it's really important to unpack this. It takes time. This is not barroom talk. This is us debating a very, very serious issue here, where injustice, I believe, it's definitely happened. And it goes through the information and the paperwork that we read of what people have said at the time. And it just frustrates me that how some of this was not picked up, and issues and subject matters were just abandoned by defense, really, in my opinion. Okay, so Phil, this is you.
So you say Gavin is up there as well. How was it you learned Gavin was in the tank as well?
I heard now Joe shouting Gavin. Again, that's a contradiction, because that was never said in the previous documents. In the solicitor's notes from his interview, he never mentioned Gavin at first. He said he never knew Gavin was in the tanker. Now he's saying here he heard Gavin shouting.
So then she says, seeing yourself how Gavin got into the tank.
No.
So he didn't, basically, did you see Gavin get in the tank? No. So you learned Nigel and Gavin in the tank. Remember what you did next?
I left Nigel where he was and ran up to the main office and asked them to phone emergency services.
Got to the office, asked them, remember who it was you spoke to in the office?
Not specifically, just opened the door and shouted into the office.
As a result of you passing on that message to the office, what happened then?
Dave David Muniak, I think that is, in that office, and Lance Leivers, they vacated the office and ran down the yard.
Dave Maruniak in December 2016.
Mixer man for products.
Who is Lance Leivers? I should have asked you. Tanker speaking about him week before. Same tanker driving on the 22nd of December.
It is.
You see, can I just interrupt you? That he said Dave Maruniak, mixer man. Well, it was senior yard hand. He had his own office, which was next to that blue skip that you see on the CCTV footage. That was his office, along with his son, Mike Maruniak. They'd had the office there for decades. Whilst I was still working out of a porter cabin, that was their private office.
They made it sound as though Dave Maruniak was a nothing.
Yeah.
A menial hand.
Yeah.
No responsibility whatsoever.
No, when he ran the business and there was only him and Mike Maruniak for many years, right up till around about, 2013. It was only them two that did the mix-in. It was their business. They knew exactly what to do.
Well, he'd been with you from get-go, hadn't he? He'd been with you from pig breeding, hadn't he?
Well, let me tell you, who set Nathan Walker on? Mike Maruniak. Who set Gavin Rawson on? Mike Maruniak. He set all the yard staff on. You know, they were there. There was his team.
Yeah. Yeah, it's quite apparent that that they've tried to obviously cover their own arses, basically, but they've also tried to dilute their own responsibilities. And Dave Maruniak this is really the first time he's mentioned, actually, when the call goes up in the office. Dave Maruniak just happens to be up there, this non-event. And and that's the only time he gets involved, really.
Well, break it down, Phil. He's got to the office door. We all know that he said Gavin's in a tank, but now he's saying someone's in a tank. So just on hearing someone's in a tank, if Dave Maruniak claimed that this was happening all the time, why would he even bother running down to the tanker? Why?
Yeah.
Why did you continue talking to Gillian? Why? There was a sofa in his van because Jake had used his van that day with Will Murray to collect a piano for Lance. And to put the piano in place in Lance's cottage, they took Lance's old sofa away. That's what he was discussing at the office door. Why didn't he carry on with his chat? Why was it an emergency scene?
Good question. Because it wasn't a normal event. Wasn't a normal event, was it?
Okay, this is you now, Phil. Page 5. We're only on page 5.
So,
I should have asked you.
yeah, I should have asked you. The tanker we're speaking about is the week before the same tanker we were driving on the 22nd of December.
It is.
It had problems the week before on more than one occasion.
Yes.
You remember what, if anything, happened, you having told Stuart Brown about the problems?
Nothing happened.
Was the problem fixed?
What problems was it?
He was having trouble getting the loads off, so he said.
But he discussed earlier that it was the pump. So she knew the problem. The pump.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, this Lucy Wright, she's about 2'2". She never looked at a tanker in her life. She knew nothing about farming at all, whatsoever. But she's taking evidence in chief from Richard Drake on. It's just absolute nonsense.
I think I've said this before. There's no point in having people, asking questions that don't understand the workings of everything. There's no point. Are they going to see any glaring indiscretions and stuff like that? They're not going to do it, are they? They're just not going to do it.
Why didn't she want to go to look at the tanker to see the pump?
I don't know. It probably wasn't there. You probably moved it by then.
Yeah, it was over at the airfield, but they could have gone over there. There was access. The police didn't move it there. It was my insurance company that took it there. It was open access to anyone. Just have a ride over and go and have a look to see what the problem was. But the facts are that the HSE, the Health and Safety Executive Engineer, took the pump away 5 years later and confirmed that there was nothing wrong with the pump.
He also confirmed that pump had been tampered with.
Correct.
I wonder when that was.
Well, we'd never know, will we?
No, this is the trouble, isn't it? When you don't do your bloody job, this is the trouble. Here we are, 5-6 years later, and wanting to know why that pump had been tampered with. And, it's a waste of time asking the question now, isn't it?
Yeah. Okay, you've got your next questions, 20 seconds.
Right. So you told Stuart Brown nothing happened. Was the problem fixed?
No.
Questions read the 22nd December, day of the incident with Nigel Walker and Gavin Wilson at work that day.
I was.
Step by step, remember what time you arrived at work that morning?
Okay, that's really an interesting question, right? I mean, I know she's saying what time did you arrive, but what, step by step, right, would allude to one question explaining about your day, getting to work and that sort of stuff. And so that's an open-ended question. He doesn't really answer that, which obviously he gets relief on. But then I'm replying here, usually about 6 o'clock.
So you arrived in the morning. Remember what it was or where it was due to go out on delivery that morning?
Farm in Oxfordshire, place called New Elms.
Actually, Brad. But here's another point. When these drivers leave at 5 and 6 in the morning, Stuart Brown's not at work to assist him in the Weybridge office. When he's got
to Weybridge.
Yeah. He's got to go and gross.
They have to weigh before going out and stuff like that.
They do indeed, yeah.
All right, got
because it won't always necessarily be full. That full 28, it might be 27, it might be 26. it's not a rocket science where they fill them up. So of course the farmer wants to pay for every kilo that he has. So of course they have to weigh out to get the gross. Then they come back, just punch in the code when they come back, and it gives them the net weight.
So he definitely knows how to use it, basically.
Do we think he was lying about not knowing how to use the weighbridge?
Every part of what Richard Draycott said in that courtroom was a lie, apart from the fact that he confirmed that it wasn't him who came to collect Nigel Curtis.
The only delivery had that day.
It was at that time.
When he got to work, remember if feed was already in the tanker?
Already loaded for me to go, yes.
Any inspection or check feed in tank?
No. So that means he didn't open the hatch or anything like that. Oh, no.
That'd be an ordinary thing?
Just on my daily walk around check around the tank.
The walk around is what you have to do.
Physically look around, wheel nuts, electrical couplings, all on, lights working.
And the purpose of those checks?
Things you have to do before you leave work. It's a requirement.
Yeah, she must be thick. Requirement to check your vehicle working.
Yes.
How much feed was on board that day?
Assumed, because Mike loaded full load, 28 tonish.
He wouldn't assume. He has to go on the weighbridge as he leaves.
Yeah, we don't know how to work it. It's just good. We said that. We don't know how to work it, does it? So, taking the vehicle through the weighbridge, they did on the 22nd of December.
Oh,
Yeah.
She's just confirming it goes on the weighbridge.
Yes.
He told Nathan Walker Brownie wanted him to wash the tank out.
Yes.
What?
She's jumped forward to coming back now. She don't want to know what happened down in Oxford. So we've jumped all over again, haven't we?
Yeah,
Strange.
yeah. So remember what Nathan Walker's reaction was.
It's quite interesting, actually. No, I don't.
Oh, well, I do. Both occasions. Right, what did you do?
I walked out. I walked back down to the lorry.
You walked back to the mixing shed.
Yes.
When do we next see Nathan Walker?
Pat came and moved fast track out shed. I backed lorry and trailer into the shed. When I got out the cab, Nathan Walker came from the restroom. Now, before
Will you be able to see that, Ian? Has he dropped? Has he gone? Has he nodded?
I'm back.
All right. So the okay, ask that question and I've got a comment to make about this.
If Draycott got out the cab, would he be able to see the restroom and Nathan Walker coming from the restroom?
Sorry, could you ask me again? Sorry, Phil. Please, one more time.
Yeah. As Richard Draycott got out of the cab,
Yep.
would he be able to see Nathan Walker coming from the restroom?
Absolutely not.
I thought not.
Yeah.
But if
So you hadn't seen where Nathan Walker come from?
yeah, this is your asking me a question. You've jumped ahead.
Yeah.
The one point I want to make from that is that Richard Draycott said in his interview to us, he went straight to the staff canteen and spoke to Nathan, said you need to go and clean the tanker. But he's saying here that he went down to the tanker first. So before even speaking to Nathan.
Yeah. None of it ties up, does it?
All right.
He gives two different versions of speaking to Nathan. In one, he says to Nathan, Brownie wants you to get into the tank, and Nathan says, you're joking. And on the second occasion, Nathan says, "Oh, all right."
Yeah, but well, there's a third account then, is that he doesn't even mention speaking to Nathan straight away. He actually went
No.
back to his tanker first, in this account. So we got three versions of the event. Either way, we could probably confidently assume that Richard Draycott told Nathan to go into the tanker, and yet was suddenly alarmed that Nathan went in the tanker. Jeez. Okay. Phil, is this you or me next?
Well, I just said you haven't seen where Nathan Walker came from, and you said no. And I said, why back the trailer into the shed?
Obviously, he got to be washed out, so a place you contain the product.
I object. Got to be washed out, to me, would mean, all right, perhaps the walls of the tanker are dirty and he's just going to wash them down. What we're saying here is there's either a problem with the product or there's a problem with the pump. It's not got to be washed out. It's got to be sorted out, hasn't it?
Yeah, well, it described it throughout, hasn't it? He said it on your interview too, that it was a problem with the pump. So what are you washing the product out for? The product's perfectly good.
Yeah.
No problem with
out,
it.
is it?
But he also said it was set like concrete as well. Don't forget.
Yeah.
Well, then he's denied that.
Yeah.
Well, he denied it, but five other people said that's what he said.
Yeah, he did. Okay. Anything unusual about that place? You washed it out. Always a place you used.
Never really washed it out, really. That's really interesting. But if you had see, that's never really washed it out, really, which basically suggests that they never really had a problem.
No.
Never really washed it out, really. They could say, if Richard Draycott something, it could say him personally, but it would allude to the fact that it was never really done.
No.
But if you had incidents like that, it would have been contained in the area. It would be all over the yard. Had to go up mini speed ramp to get into shed, so it would come out. What does all that mean, Ian? The latter end.
There is a little mini speed hump that goes into the shed. But again, why would you want to let it go on the mixing shed floor? It's liquid. It's not going to stop in a heap, is it? The product is a liquid. It's pumped into tanks and farmers take it through 2-inch pipes. Why didn't, if this problem, I'm confused because I always assumed it was a problem with the pump. But let's just say it was this concrete business, which has never happened before. Why don't you just go down to the rear of the mixing shed, like Stuart Brown said, and use the mono pump, the roto pump, to suck it back off and put it back into the holding tank and use it with the product again? Why don't you just put some more product on it and mix with it, or even pot? Because this was an event and it had never been said before, this concrete business. And so Stuart Brown made a suggestion, pump some pop onto it, which mixes it. So if you've got something that's like concrete, it becomes blend again. To me, that makes sense. Not ever go in the mixing shed. Steve Hunt would have kittens if there was a tanker in the mixing shed when he got back with the skip and needed to tip it, because that meant Perry couldn't go out that night to do his jobs. And these factories were depending on us exchanging their skips. If we don't get there, the factories shut down.
I would say, though, Ryan, although we've dismissed the issue of set like concrete now, we know which Draycott lied. For sure, especially when you got 5 other people and him denying himself, he said that. But if it was set like concrete, I know this is an oxymoron in itself. By adding more content to it would basically do nothing because it would just lay on top, wouldn't it? But the point being, it was said, along with many other things. Okay. So going on that basis, Ian, right? Has there been occasions where you've unloaded on the floor?
No, never.
Never.
Dave Marooney, I could go crazy if you got liquid all over the mixing shed floor too. How could the Steve Hunt get in with his skip loader if you've got liquid all over the floor?
Mm.
It just didn't happen.
Right. Okay. Okay. This is you now, Phil. What?
Yeah. So what came out?
The feed, the product.
You became aware of Nathan Walker in the back.
Yes. Yes.
What was Nathan Walker wearing when you saw him? Can you remember?
He got overalls on, and he had got a fluorescent jacket on. Wasn't orange.
Do you remember? We need to speak. She just said you became aware of Nathan Walker in the back. Well, what does that mean? Because earlier to the defence barristers, it claimed, which was all lies, that he dropped from his grasp. And now also, I think Gillian and I were discussing, in one, I think we missed this one, Nathan had gloves on, and the other one he had gloves on. That's another one.
He definitely said his gloves were mucky.
Yeah, but then another one, Phil, I'm sure in another statement that Nathan had gloves on and he slipped out of his gloves. But anyway, we may come to that at some other.
Okay, guys, we need to go to a break, so we need to have another song, which I'm going to choose this one, I think, and it's called Paris Ooh La La, and it's by Grace Potter and the Nocturnals.
Okay, let's play that now.
You got me down on the floor. So what'd you bring me down here for? say ooh la 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 la.
Okay, we are back. This is actually very fascinating. It's the first time I've seen this document. And we got to the point where Lucy Wright says, became aware Nathan Walker back, and my understanding is, your understanding is that back of the tanker?
Yeah, that's what I'd interpret it as. That she's asking Richard, when did you become aware that Nathan Walker was in the back? That confirms that the prosecution knew Nathan Walker had climbed through that 18-inch hole and he was in the rear compartment of the tanker.
And he says, yes. You'll go, Phil.
What was Nathan Walker wearing when you saw him? Can you remember?
He got overalls on and he had got a fluorescent jacket on. Wasn't orange, it was blue. Fluorescent.
This do you remember one? I'd just like to mention something here. Yes, this is true. It was a blue jacket with fluorescent white strips on it. I retrieved it from the tanker from the rear compartment in February this year, 2026.
Really?
Yes.
What you had this year?
I've got the hood here with me. It's in a polythene bag. I went to the tanker on open day.
Yeah.
The day before Phil met me there on the auction day, and I noticed, because the product had now dried out on the base of the tanker and something was just sticking up a little bit, so I tugged at it and it was the hood from Nathan's jacket.
Wow. So it shows that the tanker wasn't investigated.
Yes, this is what the solicitor said when I wrote to him and asked him about what should we do with it. He says it just demonstrates that the police never carried out any investigations.
I did a audio on this today about police investigations and that sort of stuff. Anyway, this is you, Phil.
No, question re RN and MM, NW wearing anything different other than clothes you wear normally around site?
No.
Nathan Walker have any additional equipment other than lance?
No, we'll. Okay, fine. Let me just try and interpret this. We were wearing anything. No, this is you. This is
wearing anything on your face. Any masks?
No.
What did he do?
Didn't see him do it. He went up the ladder. I got the lance for pressure washer, which is what he said in this interview with us. When he was up there, he got the lid to the tanker undone and was sitting there with his feet dangling it in, which is what he actually said in our interview as well.
Yeah. Partly pumped. First time ever looked into a tank of feed?
No.
Don't know what the hell that means. So looked on that occasion. Do you say how much feed approximately left inside the tank? What it would look like?
At the end of the day, I think it says 3/4 of the tank left on the vehicle. I would say that's really interesting.
1/4.
1/4, is it? Oh, okay, fine. Right. I need to zoom in a bit more. Okay, this is you.
So based on what you could see at the time?
Yes.
Understand at that point, why weren't you able to discharge the remainder of the feed?
Oh, well, it's an interesting response here. It's a non-response. He just says yes.
Use WL. All right, okay. That was because
of the pump.
So he's blaming the pump now, Ian.
Yep, back to the pump now, not the product. Well, yeah. Why does this woman want to know? Why does Lucy Wright want to know about looking in the tanker and seeing this level of feed? What has this got to do with 2 deaths?
I don't know, perhaps all will be revealed later. Earlier, you described an issue with the pump, something suffered in the week before the 22nd of December. When the pump failed on those occasions, you had looked into the tank at those times as well.
I would have done, yes.
Can you remember looking?
Not on those particular days. These are the most critical days, really, in fairness. But on the day, I would never forget. Okay, let me just try and regurgitate this. Okay, not on those particular days, but on this day, I would never forget for the rest of my life. This, I'm adding words here, but this is what. But I remember looking in the tank.
You realised the issue with the pump. What did you do? Do you return to Greenfeeds?
Yes.
What? So now she's spirited him away back to the farm, basically.
Yeah.
He's back at the farm where he was having trouble getting the load off.
And now it's the pump, not the product. Why she been talking about washing the tanker out earlier, but now she's talking about the pump? The two different issues or events, Brad would say.
She's back at the client. She's back at the farmer.
Right, back down in Oxford at UL.
Yeah.
Okay.
So do you remember what time you got back to site?
Would have thought 3:30, something like that.
What's the procedure when you return on that day? Same as described in this morning.
Called on Weybridge, code on Weybridge ticket. There you go. Nailed it. Have to be put way back in. I went and sought Stuart Brown's advice to put code in for me. Okay. Oh, maybe not then. And way back in.
He's suddenly forgotten that he can work the Weybridge again. So
let me add to this. Before he was on tankers, he worked the skips on a 8-wheeler that I had. And boy, he was in and out the yard, what, like a jack and a rabbit. It was always in and out the yard all day long.
Using the same Weybridge.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So on this occasion, could it be plausible that he was just seeking Stuart Brown just to double check?
Not really. I mean, Stuart Brown had only been with me since March that year. What did Stuart Brown know about the Weybridge? It was Richard Draycott that was the experienced man. It was Richard Draycott that went through our Weybridge and the codes with Stuart Brown when he was set on. Lance pointed him to Richard, who was in the Weybridge office, and it was Richard that gave Stuart the training.
Right. Okay. This is
so questions about that. Different procedure than you helped us with that day. You driven onto the Weybridge.
Yes.
How did you get Stuart Brown to come to the Weybridge with you?
I'm not computer literate. Have to look for code on Weybridge ticket. Punch code in somehow, and we'll give you the weight you unloaded. Now, Ian, please help me out with this, because even I don't believe this is plausible. What do you say about this?
Well, what's it got to do with the computer? It's just punching in. You put your tear, you put your net, and you punch it in. It's done for you. It's not you don't have to be computer literate. This man has done it thousands upon thousands of times, out of hours, early mornings. He'd been there for 9 years. It's just, how many lice can you tell? How big can your nose grow? It's unbelievable.
So let's just talk through the process then, just for the sake of the listeners. So you go on the Weybridge. You've got your initial truck weight, right?
Yep.
You add
the gross.
Yeah. Gross. Okay. Yeah. Good point. Yeah. Gross. And then you add your load, weigh it, and you plus and minus the difference, right?
But no, sorry, Brad. No, it will park down at the loading point. He knows what to do there. The load is put on the tanker. You then go onto the Weybridge and you gross the vehicle. You go out, you come back, and you print in your tier weight, and then it gives you the net weight what you've delivered. It's simple. It's all done for you. It's so easy. It's child's play.
And how many buttons do you have to press?
3?
Really? Jeez.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh. Right.
Child's play.
Yeah. Okay. Phil, you're next.
So I'm still in shock from this guy not knowing how to operate a weighbridge. So Stuart Brown helped you on the 22nd of December. How many occasions before, when you returned to site, did Stuart Brown help you with the weighbridge?
Well, Stuart Brown's not going to be there when Richard returns at 9 at night, is he? You know, drivers work 15-hour days spread over.
Yeah. So that's why he said he hasn't. So this is the first time.
And
Richard-
basically his response is yes.
Yeah. Stuart Brown operated the weighbridge for you.
You carry on. 20
Yes,
seconds.
you did. Yes, you did. What happened to the ticket?
With my sheet in black folder in the vehicle.
Do you know what happened to that folder?
Well, the police didn't take it, did they? They didn't investigate the lorry.
The judge, it says here, is shooting water out. I haven't a clue what that means. Anyway, the Richard Draycott says yes. Oh, he's spitting water out in laughter, I imagine.
What is this trial talking about the Weybridge? Weybridge tickets.
Water out.
2 people's died, and we're talking about
That's exactly what
Weybridge.
it says. It's exactly what it says.
So where were you standing using the lance to clean the tank?
Oh, this is interesting. Inside tank.
Really?
That's what it says here. You've got the same document I'm reading.
Yeah, I know. If someone is inside the tank, can you see them from outside?
Well, that's
Only if you're Superman.
yeah,
Your X-ray vision.
We got Stretch Armstrong as well, Phil. Don't forget.
True.
Okay. Jeez. Saw them come out the tank. Who did you see come out the tank?
I think now we've jumped forward to the rescue with Lance
Yeah.
and Jay.
Well, we can only work with the documents we've got with, but okay, let's carry on a little bit more. Let's just try and figure out what's going on here.
If someone was inside the tank, can you see them from outside?
Not all the time. Don't have to have Lance in when coming out. Throw Lance out first and then get out, probably. This is making
Oh, you probably might not. That's basically what it means, isn't it? You throw the lance out first, and then you get out probably. Well, you could hang about, couldn't you?
Okay, this is WL now. At the time, seen RN and MM clearing those tankers with pressure wash Lance. Was that retching at the time? Something like
I don't know what that means.
that. Wearing at the time.
Oh, what were they wearing at the time?
I can see that by the next question.
Yeah.
Overalls and Wellingtons.
Clothing different than wear on any given day around site. I didn't hear your answer. Wearing anything in particular?
Gloves.
Wearing anything on the faces?
No.
So
Using-
Nathan's now got gloves on then, it's not Richard.
Yeah.
So he's put gloves on him now.
anything,
then.
using anything other than Lance pressure washer?
No.
Able to help when you saw RN cleaning the tank?
He says no, but I'm just thinking, why are they on about where is Nathan gone in this situation? Why are they gone on to Robin?
Who's RN?
Robin Neve.
I'm guessing Robin Neve, yeah.
Able to help when you saw Robin Neve cleaning the tank by reference to December 2016. He wasn't there in December. Robin wasn't there, was he?
No, he
Robin left
wasn't,
in
no.
November.
Yes.
Okay, carry on.
Bloody hell. So before December 2016.
Before the event, yes. They actually call it an event as well. There you go, Ian.
Yeah. Able to say months or years before or weeks?
I would have to have said months.
Same question, Mike Maruniak. When it was you saw him?
Months.
You yourself ever get inside the tank to clean it?
No, I did not.
Ever have any training from Greenfeeds how to clean a tank?
No. That's really interesting, though, isn't it? It just proves the point in terms of it wasn't status quo to go in and clean out tankers. The mere fact he's been there for that many years and never had to do it himself, even at the start of his employment. Because at the start of the employment, you're probably the most vulnerable. You'll just do whatever to keep the job. As they previously said, Ian paid the highest wages in the area, but he's never had to do it once in an entire employment.
Ever seen any documents read how a tank ought to be cleaned?
No.
Well, we know a tank didn't ought to be cleaned because according to the driver's handbook, it never needed to be cleaned.
That's what it said.
So you've never seen any documents on how a tank ought to be cleaned, and you say no?
Yeah.
And then for some reason you say you only knew one Nathan on site. Nathan Walker.
Yes.
The instruction was get 20 pence Nathan to clean it out.
Yes.
By the 22nd of December, you personally seen anyone going in or coming out of a tanker before?
Yes, I have.
Who was it you had seen?
I saw a lad called Robin coming out of the tank, LWRNRD, believe so. Only one Robin on site. Okay. Now that suggests that, let's just look at this logically. Right, the business has been running for years, and he's saying, "I saw a lad, Robin." We're potentially talking about a singular event here, coming out of the tank, and it doesn't suggest to me that this was normal practice. Now, Ian denies that Robin went into tankers and that sort of stuff. And Robin, to be honest, he's in La La Land, because in one of his statements he said he was told to go into tankers with product in up to his chest, which is ridiculous. It just wouldn't happen. There's nothing you can do. So it's a load of bollocks. Anyway, carry on.
Robin Neve, the only person.
Saw Mike Romaniak coming out of the tank once. There you go. Once. How many years has Mike been there?
Oh,
9.
20 odd.
Okay, and how many years has Richard Draycott been there?
9.
Oh, I know he's a driver, so he's not always there, but he's only ever seen him go and do it once. Okay, fine. There you go. Next.
So RN and MM.
Yes.
On occasions, you describe seeing them coming out. Sorry, you describe them coming in or going out of a tanker. What was it you seen them doing?
Washing them out.
What if they were inside a tanker? How would you be able to see that?
Well, like
Would they been doing something else in them tankers? If they had seen them coming out.
Well, you did have tankers with the back doors that opened, though, didn't you, Ian?
Yeah, but what's he seen them coming out? What have they been doing in there?
I don't know.
Well, here's your answer. On occasions, you describe seeing them coming in or going out of the tanker. What was it you seen them doing? That's you, Brad.
Yeah, it says washing them out.
Hear or see yourself. Who gave RN or MM instructions to clean those tanks?
No, I did not.
See or hear what method RN and MN using to clean tank on those occasions.
Okay, this is really interesting. Pressure washer.
Describe that washer to us, where the washer was located.
Could have been located in two places. There was a fixture pipe around wall, could use at one end and the other end of the shed. Hose pipes just onto it.
So a pressure washer you can move around.
Yes, the pipe can move and around. Yes.
Pressure washer used to clean it out. How do you understand they were using the pressure washer? You know,
Someone called DK now interjects. Precise with this, did he see what they were doing with it? Not guess. The judge now interjects. Don't think any suggestions being asked to guess. This is you now.
what did you see them do with the pressure washer?
I don't understand the question. This is the judge now. Counsel saying the washer was Lance. How you see them using Lance? This is Richard Draycott using as a gun. I don't, because I was. And then it
Skipped
goes.
again, doesn't it? Ticket put in folder.
Yes.
Having gone off the weighbridge, what did you do then?
Discussion about product in tank. I was told to get. I hate this. Really, it makes me cringe so much. 20 pence, Nathan, to wash it out.
The discussion with products in the tank.
Yes.
Who with?
Stuart Brown. Where was the discussion? This is you.
Well, this is me. Where was the discussion taking place?
In the office and the Weybridge office, which contradicts what his prior said, by the way.
Yeah, so Lucy Wright then produces an aerial view of the Greenfeeds site. Looking at the photo, do you recognise Greenfeeds aerial view? Do you recognise as being Greenfeeds site?
I do, yeah. Just
Number
on the
of other
point,
labels on there.
just 1 second. On the point where I mentioned contradictions, this is contradictions in relation to what he said to us, what he said in his police statement, what he said in his interview with the solicitors, and what he's saying here. There's 4 contradictions. I just want to make that clear. You know, I'm not making this up. If you go back to the previous episodes, and even what he said in the interview, 4 contradictions about the same event. And it may sound minor, but it really isn't. Sorry, Phil.
There are a number of other labels on there. And where you say Weybridge is there a label on there?
Yes.
Do you agree with your memory?
Yes.
Just above, directly above, the roof of the grey building labelled office. Do you agree that's where the office was?
Yes, I do.
Evidence-free conversation with Stuart Brown. Hold the photo where you were when the conversation was taking place.
Okay. I was in the area where it's not got stripes on the roof to the left-hand side, Weybridge area office. Ian, what do you say about that?
I'm baffled by it all because she's using an aerial photograph, but not used any CCTV footage at all. She can't, can she? Because none of it correlates at all. It's just a story, and I don't know what the jury were thinking after day one. I mean, I went home and I had night tremors. I don't have no words.
Okay.
So inside the building itself,
Yes.
where is the vehicle?
Be on the Weybridge.
Having a discussion with Stuart Brown. Remember what it was you said?
When I got back, Stuart Brown said to me how much he bought back. Huh, this is interesting.
This time.
Yeah, this time.
Did you tell him?
On Weybridge, he could see for himself what I bought back.
told us there was discussion about Nathan Walker.
Oh, I'm not even going to say this again. To be honest. It makes me want to puke. To wasn't it's out. That was I was told.
So WL, whoever that is, says do you understand Stuart Brown meant by 20 pence
Don't mention
Nathan?
that more. Don't mention that more. All right. The
Ever seen any documents read what to do if something went wrong when the tank was being cleaned?
no.
Ever had training about what to do if something went wrong on the tank?
No.
What does he mean by something went wrong on the tank? Is that a pump?
Could be
Quite
anything.
important, isn't it? Because if you've got something wrong with your pump, go and get it changed. They discussed this on the radio interview with you guys when they put pebbles bigger than 20 mil in the pump. It destroyed the lobes, and the fitter at that facility down in Worcester, which they described themselves, both Richard Draycott and Steve Hunt, confirmed that fitter changed the lobes because they were chabbled up. That's what you do if you've got a problem with your tanker. Change the lobes.
Yeah, I agree. And I said, if he was having trouble the week before, why didn't he get the fitter? Well, instead of talking to Stuart Brown, if he ever did talk to Stuart Brown, I don't bloody believe that for 1 minute. Why didn't he go and see the fitter and say, do something to the pump?
Well, at that time, Phil, I'd not got one fitter. I've got two fitters. Remember Tim Walker had sacked him?
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, and I'd never had two fitters ever in my business. This time, I've got Martin White and Mick Drury. Two fitters. Is that not a business expanding?
Yeah.
Can't two of them change lobes?
If I was the lorry driver and I'm continually having to bring back material, I would be extremely pissed off. I would make sure that the fitter did something to that sodding pump. I would. Say, get it fixed. It's causing me a problem. It just stands to reason, doesn't it? If you've got any pride about what you're doing, about the kit that you're operating, then you would get the fitter to fix it. Simple. It's not rocket science, that, surely.
Yeah, and also you have a fiduciary duty as well as being a professional driver.
So you yourself know what to do if there was a problem. God help us.
Please.
Go on, say it.
Oh, my days. I can't believe this. No, I don't. No.
This is just crazy. So discuss what happened once you got back to Greenfeeds and told Stuart Brown to get Nathan Walker to clean out your tank.
I just want to go back to that point, Phil, right? Where you yourself know what to do if there was a problem. No, I don't. No. Now, let's just say, right, I'm an apprentice. You learn from your teachers in the workplace, right? This guy's an experienced driver, and we all know issues arise throughout our day-to-day job. You know, even putting up shelves, you know, it's not quite straightforward.
Hang on, Phil. Sorry, I don't want to be rude, but he's even took fresh drivers out, new drivers, and given them training in the past because he was an experienced senior driver.
Yeah. All right.
What I will never understand is why he's allowed to say, no, I don't know, when it's absolutely blatantly obvious that he's an experienced driver and he bloody well does know what he would do if there was something wrong with the pump. It's obvious you would know what to do. So why is he allowed to get away with that?
Exactly. Can I go back to my shelves?
The point blow it into the
point being is that when you're an apprentice, you learn from like Ian learned from his dad, for example. And no doubt other people around him. and carpenters learn from other carpenters. And just using the shelf analogy, is that some people can't put up shelves, but when you're shown how to put up a shelf and identify the issues with a shelf, then you've learned it. We definitely all need training, but this is somebody that's been in the industry for a long period of time. I think I can't remember the amount of decades, but it's a long period of time. And he says, if I had a problem, no, I don't know how to deal with it. Now, that's a big issue for me. Because that suggests one of a number of things. I've never had a problem before, ever. Right? Or I'm lying.
His back teeth. This is on a par with the Sam Ramage. I don't know. You operated tankers.
Yeah, I got some backlash over that episode, that's for sure. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. Yeah.
About what? From who?
I called her a lying bitch.
That's all right.
Yeah. She's lying. She's outright lying.
And this guy is no different, is he? Absolutely no different. That is an out and out lie. I don't know.
In the interview, Phil, that we had, he come across very, very sincere.
Yeah, he was okay, yeah.
And but this is part of the process, isn't it? This is the side of injustice that I don't normally see. But it's shocking, really, to be honest. Okay, you're next. Discuss.
I mean, if you were a barrister in this case, you'd have ripped him a new one, wouldn't you? No, I don't know.
You would have thought, in all honesty, Phil, after this, the barrister and the legal team behind him, which would be instructing solicitors, would have been making notes saying we need to go back and cross-examine Richard Draycott. But it appears that didn't happen. Am I right, Ian?
No, it didn't happen. No, with none of them.
So you'd go back and say, can we just revisit this? Let's just go back through this. You said this. It didn't, so that's what ordinarily would have happened. And that's normal practice in all honesty. But, maybe...
Let's get it done in 20 odd days, don't they?
Okay, so you've got discuss. We've only
discuss what happened once you got back to Greenfeeds and told Stuart Brown to get Nathan Walker to clean out your tank.
Yes, interesting. Just use the word "your" as well.
Start at the beginning. What did you do with the vehicle and tanker?
I moved it off the weighbridge, driven it all the way around the building, all the way around the site and the incident location. That took an hour and plus minutes.
40 minutes.
40 minutes. Parked at incident location. That was a fast track. Okay, there was a fast track in there parked, which is like a big tractor. I walked back to the office where the restroom were. Office arrow pointing, that is the restroom, and I asked Pat, who was in there, to move the fast track, and Nathan Walker in there as well.
Questions about that bit of evidence. You drove around and parked to use words incident location. That because read from the map in front of you?
Yes, that's the shed.
What did you call that shed?
I know that shed as a mixing shed.
Oh, God. Why is it called a mixing shed?
That's where the product's mixed and distributed.
When you arrived at the mixing shed, see the fast track inside and Pat help you, you asked Pat to move it.
Yes, walk from the incident location back to the office, one side office, one side canteen. Pat is there having a break. He was the driver of the fast track. I asked him to move it.
Do you see how we can't do nothing else with the business when you've got the fast track in there with the uploader trailer on it? Everything comes to a standstill.
Phil's mentioned before. As soon as you get a tanker in there, that's when using Phil's word. Let's quickly get through this because we need to end because we've got a lot more minutes. Phil, you're next.
So Pat works at Greenfeeds.
Yes.
Did Pat move the fast track for you?
Yes.
What happened then?
Nathan in the office as well, which contradicts what he probably said. In even in this statement,
Yeah, because he wasn't in the office, he was in the canteen, wasn't
he? Yeah, I said to Nathan Brownie, ask you to wash out the tank. Okay, that's different from going into the tank.
Who do you mean by Brownie?
Stuart Brown.
The name you need Stuart Brown by on site.
Okay, we're going to stop there. So Phil, make a note. It's page 11. We've got 2 minutes spare. Well, we haven't got that actually. Do you guys just want to do a recap of what we just discussed? Ian, you go first because you've got the biggest...
Well, I've said this before. I'm punch drunk by it all. That first night, as I say, when I got home, I had night tremors. I couldn't believe. I've never been involved with the Crown Court trial before, and I couldn't believe what was happening. I couldn't believe that it continued after Richard Draycott. As I say, yeah, I was just punch drunk. That is it. That's all I need to say.
Okay, Phil, have you got anything to say?
Well, yeah, I can't. I like Ian and punch drunk, but I'm not having night tremors. I can't believe that that this guy is allowed to just out and out lie like that, and everybody can see that that's a lie. You know that he didn't know what to do if you got a problem with the tank. I mean, that's just ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. The amount of years a guy's got in driving tankers and working at Greenfeeds, you know, to then stand up in court and say that, and he's allowed to say it, and he's allowed they just move on from it. It's just, for me, it's just craziness. You know, this case is a non-case for me. It should have been kicked out.
Yeah, I mean, I don't necessarily mean the case being kicked out, but I think definitely lessons should have been learned from this, and the Gillian Leivers should definitely not be in jail for 100%. The thing that talk about what you've just mentioned there in the short space of time that I'm left with is that where we talk about I don't know how to deal with issues if they arise. You know, what happens with like blowing out tires and all that sort of jazz, or and that sort of thing. And I understand why the prosecution don't expand on it, because they want the narrative that basically there was no health and safety, but yet we know that's not true. Now we need we need to close up now. Who's doing the final song?
Could I pick, because they're not going to break us, Fleetwood Mac, The Chain?
Okay.
Great song, great song.
Okay, we're going to play that now.
you.